Good morning or afternoon. Hope everyone is having a blessed Tuesday. So today for Plant Feature Tuesday, I'm gonna go ahead and showcase this beautiful queen. Um, she is the first Hoya that I bought. I've had her, I want to say it'll be a year in August next month. So she's a year old with me. She was my first Hoya. I thought she was a peperomia when I got her. Um, and I just was, didn't know. And she started my Hoya collection. So yeah, she's a beauty. She goes by different names. The Hoya, Tricolor, Variegata, Carnosa. So Carnosa, Tricolor, Variegata, Hoya, Crimson Queen. I just call her Miss Beautiful Queen. She's a beauty. She has grown this whole thing right here all within a few months. For one, this wasn't even here. She just grew this. Um, this is all, she's just grown so much over the year. It's crazy. So I have not repotted her yet. I've kept her in her nursery pot. I'll probably leave her in her nursery pot. I'm not gonna mess with her. She's happy where she's at. I got two other Hoyas that I just recently got. And I put them in terracotta pots, and I'm just trial and error. I may end up putting all my Hoyas in terracotta before the winter's up. It depends. I'll see, but I may end up putting her in a terracotta right before winter, because that's when they really need the moisture to be sucking out, and terracotta is good for that. But since it's growing season and they're booming, I'm not gonna mess with it. Um, so my care for her is basically I do let her dry out in between waterings. During the winter, she goes all the way dry. I want to say about once a month. I water all my Hoyas once a month in the winter. During the summer, I've learned to go ahead and give them about 2 weeks, and I water them every 2 weeks. What I've learned is I also give them a shower during the summer, but during the winter, you don't want to do that because it's not going to dry out as quickly. And even with a fan on, the winter, you have to be careful with a lot of different, your care has to be totally different with all your plants, which I've learned, because this is actually my first summer with all these plants, because I started collecting plants last summer. So this summer is my first. So I've learned a lot from these plants, and I know they are growing like crazy. So they love the location. I keep my windows open, like I say. Now hers, she is sitting by a west window. The window stays open 24 hours a day, just based on I want air circulation. I also keep a fan on her. I have bowls of water sitting around her for humidity. I use the Job's slow release sticks for my Hoyas, and I've seen growth out of control for them and pretty much all the plants. They somehow like it, I guess, because I don't water them but every 2 weeks, and I try to let them all dry out. I think something about that does something also. I do use tap water. What I do is let it sit out for a few days. What I've started doing recently, just as an experiment, is I'm freezing the water, the tap water, after it's sat out maybe a few days. I freeze it, pull it out, and let it sit for a few days, at least a day or two. And then I've been watching to see what that does. So it's just all experiments. I can't afford to keep buying distilled water. But so far, my plants have been doing okay, and it's been a year now. So Leaving the water sitting out for a couple of days, freezing it, is the new experiment that I'm trying now to see. But I haven't seen a difference using the tap water either. So I do, like I said, I leave it out maybe, I want to say 24 to 72 hours. I let the water sit out. And I've had no problem so far, so good. So even with some of the calatheas I have in my Maranta, really they have brown tips from me letting them dry out too much, or not letting them dry out. But as far as Hoyas, I've been using distilled water. So she gets west window. There is a building by my window, which I'll show you. It's right, but you see there's another apartment right by my window. She sits over there in that corner with all the other Hoyas. It's so bright in here. She sits over there, up there with those other Hoyas. So this is the light she's getting. And there's the building right there, which actually protects from the sun, but it's still bright in here. So it's kind of like a shield, but it's still pretty bright. And they do get direct sun. I want to say around 3-4 o'clock they get direct sun, maybe for an hour or so. But it's still kind of diffused, but it's really bright. And I do keep the windows open, just based on, I want the air circulation for them. And then I have a fan blowing while during the day, all day I have a fan blowing. So that's the care pretty much. Now I did have her, because being that she's to the side, it's a little bit not as harsh as when I had her right directly in front of the window, and that is really, really harsh sun. And some of her leaves kind of faded out. You can't really see, maybe right there. It just looks like a little bit of sunburn. But being that I have her in the corner now, they're getting bright light, but it's not so harsh on her. She did have, now what I do, I'll say once a month with them, with all the Hoyas, I give them a good neem spray, and I keep them in the shower. Like, she just got hers, so she's gonna go back in the shower. I just brought her out. I gave her a neem spray last night. So what I use is the Bonide neem oil spray, and I just spray her all the way down, all her leaves, everything. For some reason they like that also, and it's a bug prevention. On top of, I put the Bonide systemic treatment inside the soil also. I pour that in every 3 months. You're supposed to do that because it only lasts for 3 months. So I put that in every 3 months. All the plants get treated with that, just for preventive measures. And then the good neem oil spray, because their neem is also good for fungicide and mold and all that other stuff that comes with Hoyas. So, and then during the summer, I've been giving them a shower once a month also. I give them a good spray down, and they love it. And I leave them sitting in the shower, and I also water them at the same time, so they all sit. I put all the little ones all together, and I sit them in there, spray them down, and then I spray them down, leave them in there, let them dry, and then I put them by the fan and let them get another extra air circulation. So this has been working for her, because she's, like I said, this is all has basically grown from the summer. Since March, we'll say this thing did this, because it was not there. Really, all this growth is new, because I think I did her a plant for my top 7 plants that were growing during the winter. If you go back, you'll see this plant has grown so much from then, and she's just so beautiful. And she's my pride and joy because she's my first Hoya, so I'm really, really proud of her. And we've been through a lot. I learned during the winter how the mold, I was giving my plants humidity, but wasn't putting a fan on them. Wasn't, we have to try. It's all trial and error, but the plants will teach you. You just have to learn how to listen and learn from them and listen with your eyes, because they do communicate. They're alert, they're alive, and they do communicate. And once again, these are living things, so that you have to learn how to, you have to learn with them. You can't always go off of the care that someone else does with them. Also, I've learned some plants, some works with some people, some it doesn't. In the care, you have to really learn on your own. You can study and research as much as you can, but there's some things, I always say, even in life, that you have to learn by going through it than someone teaching you it. The lesson learned is by living it. And with plants, you really have to take care of them and have them in your care for a while before you really learn, because you can research as much as you want, but that person may be, taking care of that plant in a whole nother environment. Like I always say, I live in Sacramento, California. The care I give these plants, like I said, I have two west windows, one south, two south windows. One's of the south in my room, one's in my bathroom. As of the summer, I keep my room pretty dark and cold, so no plants are in my room as of now. I'll start bringing my Santiverias back in next month, about the end of August, to start bringing them and getting them prepped for the winter time, because now I have everybody basically in a really bright front room. The windows, the blinds are up all day. I leave my windows open. Everyone who lives over here, it's really the back of me is just a parking lot. It's underneath, and then I'm up high, so you can't. It's not like people are walking by and can look into my home. And then I think everyone pretty much who does walk by here, they look up and they see the plants. So, and I've been looking in other people's windows, and I've been noticing people are starting to have plants, which is good because I love that. That's my thing, is I want to share the love, and I try to give as many plants as I can away also. So anyhow, back to Miss Hoya, Crimson Queen. So I love the little story how they say she wears the crown around her. She wears her crown like a queen, and because I guess the princess gets mixed up with her, but you can totally tell they're two different plants. The queen, her leaves are dark green, and she has the white around. Some of the leaves will come out pink, and then they turn like white, and then they'll turn green. Like these leaves were pink at one point, and then they ended up just fading out to green, and then the ends, she's laced around with the white. So, or it's like a cream color, and that's fine because you know how they say when they're too white, like these white ones both have green in it, which is good. I've heard people say to cut those off. I'm not going to cut them off, especially if it has green in it. I've even learned why with variegated plants, when some of the leaves are coming out green, just leave them on there because they can help support the plant, So anyhow, that's the care that I give for her. My Hoya Carnosa, Tricolor, Variegata, Crimson Queen. I think they even call her the strawberries and cream because some of her leaves come out pink and creamy color, but it is a Carnosa Tricolor. So at the end of the day, that's what this is. She's a Carnosa. There's a bunch of cultivars from the Carnosa. There's a bunch of them. There's more Carnosas than anything. There's a bunch of them. So the Carnosa is a huge species of different Hoyas, I believe, or cultivars. I always mix those names up, but yeah. So she is a Carnosa. She's the Tricolor one. So like I said, I provide her very bright indirect light, which is coming from a west window. I do keep bowls of water around her for humidity. That does work, trust me. I can bet on it if I could, but that does work. Having bowls of water, just glass bowls of water around your plants, you'll be surprised how that helps with humidity. And when you're refilling those bowls of water of once a week or once every other week, you know that water went somewhere. It evaporated into the air, especially when it's hot. And so I keep the window open for air circulation. Um, if you don't have, it's so important to keep airflow for the plants, because even for us, they can clean, but if we don't have windows open and we're just closed in, you can't expect for them to suck all that in and not have no air circulation. So make sure you have a fan, a dehumidifier, something pulling in and pulling out, because even a fan circulating is still just circulating old air, unless you have some windows open. Now, if it's in a greenhouse, that's a different situation, but generally greenhouses, they have something pulling in also. So, yeah, so that's the care for her. Water in the summer, I say every 2 weeks. Um, even not even 2 weeks, 1.5 week, we'll say every 7 to 8 days, something like that. Because it is hot and they're drying out, but still make sure they're dried out. I give her air circulation. I spray her down with neem once a month for bug prevention and for mold, and they do like it. I use the Job's fertilizer sticks. I know I say them all the time. I'm not affiliated with them, no way, or Bonide, but those are who I use. And I know there's a lot of mixed reviews and people use organic stuff and do this and that. That's what works for you, but what works for me, and I have seen the results is the Job sticks. You just follow the directions and they're slow release. You put them in, and they're slow release, and they work, I believe, for every 60 days or maybe 90 days, I believe. I say every 2 to 3 months, but during the growing season, um, during that time. But during the winter, I'd probably let it stretch out a little longer because they are slow releases. And you're not watering that much. But one thing about them, you're not flushing it out, and I flush my plants out at least once a month. So having the Job sticks helps out. So yeah, so bright indirect light. I'm sure she's not gonna flower. They say you gotta have about 3 years old. They gotta be about 3 years or to 5 years for them to flower. If she does, I'll be surprised. But I'm not rushing none of my plants to do what they're not supposed to do. I let them do what they want to do, and let nature do its thing. So yeah, so that's her. This is my Hoya Carnosa Tricolor Hoya Crimson Queen. She has grown so much for me. She's a beauty. This is my first Hoya. So if you get a chance and you see one of these, grab you one. She's very easy to take care of. I don't, she doesn't fuss. Yeah, I give her all these, nice environment, but I'm sure she would survive without all that stuff. But if you want her to grow and be lush and live the life she wants, you want to provide some humidity. You don't have to have a humidifier on 24 hours to provide humidity for your plants. You can easily use the glass bowls, make you a little humidity tray with the rocks underneath and sit it on top. Um, Wash your clothes out by hand and hang dry. I do that all the time. I hang dry all my socks, my underwear, my towels. It saves you money too, and you're providing humidity for yourself as well. So, and environmentally wise, you're saving money by washing your stuff out by hand and hanging it up, or wash it and dry it by hand. There's so many little humidity hacks you can do to save energy, also. So And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sorry if I go on and on about stuff. I just try to like be informative and and put all that in there. Once again, I have not repotted her. She's still in her nursery pot. I bought her from a nursery last August. A local nursery called Exotic Tropical Plants. I spent like, I want to say $8 for her, and she's still in her same nursery pot. She's growing. I probably won't mess with her. Like I said, I may end up putting her in terracotta before winter. We'll see. If not, I'll probably just keep her in this till next year and then transfer her over in some new soil and stuff. But she's good for now. And that's pretty much my care for her. Like I said, I'm in Sacramento, California, so the care that I give her is from what I'm over here in the West Coast in Sac, California. So it's a whole different environment than it could be where you're at. So I'm just going off the care that I use in Sacramento, California. I hope this was informative. Hope everyone has a blessed week. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.